It's late, the room is dark, nothing is wrong, and then, with no warning at all, a memory arrives. Something small, something from years ago, a sentence you said that landed wrong, a moment you misread a room, the time you waved at someone who wasn't waving at you. It's not a crisis. It barely lasted a few seconds when it actually happened. Most of the people who were there have completely forgotten it exists, but you haven't. You feel it in your body before you feel it in your mind. A tightening in the chest, a wince you can't stop. Maybe you whisper no, 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 out loud to an empty room, or you press your hand to your face like you can physically push the memory back down. And the strangest part, the part nobody talks about, is that it isn't even recent. This didn't happen last week. It happened years ago, and your brain has kept it, protected it, and reserved the right to play it back to you in high definition at 2 a.m. whenever it wants. You've been told what this means. You've heard all of it. You're too sensitive. You care too much what people think. You need to let it go. Nobody remembers that but you. And that last one is technically true. Nobody remembers it but you. But here's the question no one has actually asked. If it's so meaningless, why did your brain decide it was worth keeping? Because your mind is not clumsy. It is not broken. It doesn't waste storage on random noise. If it went to the trouble of recording that moment in this much detail and reopening the file this many times, that is not malfunction. That is a signature. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the 6 rare traits that signature almost always points to, and why the thing you've been trying to silence might be the clearest evidence of the kind of mind you actually have. So let's name the reframe up front, so the rest of this lands where it should. Replaying old embarrassing memories is not a sign that you're weak, or self-obsessed, or stuck in the past. It's the byproduct of a mind that encodes experience more deeply than most, monitors itself more closely than most, and refuses to file away anything that still feels unresolved. You are not haunted. You are highly encoded. And once you understand why these memories feel so loud, they start to lose their authority over you. So here are the 2 forces working against you in the dark. The first is called the negativity bias. Researchers have a blunt phrase for it. Bad is stronger than good. Across a huge body of psychology, negative events hit harder, sink deeper, and last longer in memory than positive events of the same size. It's not a flaw in you. It's standard issue human wiring, built by evolution because forgetting a threat was more dangerous than forgetting a compliment. Which means the flattering things people have said to you over the years fade like pencil, and the one awkward moment gets carved in like stone. That's not proof you're worse than other people. It's proof your brain is doing exactly what every brain does. You just happen to notice it more. The second force is the spotlight effect. In a now classic set of studies, psychologists showed something almost cruel in how comforting it is. We dramatically overestimate how much other people notice, judge, and remember our behavior. You are the permanent main character of your own memory. Everyone else was a background character in theirs, and they moved on the same afternoon. The embarrassing moment you've replayed 200 times was, for everyone else in the room, a moment they replayed exactly 0 times. You've been performing for an audience that left the theater years ago. And there's a reason the replay isn't just a thought, it's a full-body wince. When researchers put people in a brain scanner and had them experience social rejection, the pain of being excluded lit up the same region that processes physical pain, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Listen that carefully, because it reframes everything you've been told. When you feel embarrassment as an actual ache in your chest, you are not being dramatic. Social pain is not a metaphor to your brain. It's processed on the same machinery as a burn or a bruise. So when someone tells you to just get over a memory that physically hurts, they're asking you to shrug off something your nervous system files under genuine injury. No wonder it doesn't work. Hold on to all 3 of those, because now we can look under the hood at how your brain is actually doing this. And that's where the 6 traits begin. Here's the mechanism, and it's genuinely elegant. When something emotionally intense happens, and embarrassment is intense, even when it's quiet, a small almond-shaped structure in your brain called the amygdala flags it as important. That flag tells the rest of the brain, encode this hard, keep this one. This is why you can't remember what you had for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago, but you can remember, in full color, a single sentence you said in a hallway in a school you don't even attend anymore. Emotionally charged memories get consolidated more strongly than neutral ones. Your most cringeworthy moments aren't stuck because you're weak. They're stuck because your brain correctly identified them as emotionally significant and did its job a little too well. Then there's when these memories show up. Always in the quiet, always when you stop. That's not a coincidence either. When your mind isn't focused on a task, it drops into a network neuroscientists call the default mode network, the brain's self-referential autobiographical channel. It's the mode that runs when you're doing nothing in particular, replaying your life, narrating yourself, wandering through who you are and how you've been seen. For most people, it hums along quietly. For a mind like yours, it's a wide, deep river. And the old memories are what floats up when the surface finally goes still. And the last piece is the reason these specific moments come back instead of others. In 1927, a psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik noticed that we remember unfinished things far better than finished ones. An interrupted task, an unresolved conversation, a moment that ended before you got to be the version of yourself you wanted to be. Your brain keeps those files open, refusing to close the loop, because some part of you is still trying to resolve it. The embarrassing memory replays because, to your mind, it was never actually finished. You never got to fix it, so it stays live, waiting. A mind that encodes emotion deeply drops into a rich inner world the second it's alone and refuses to close an unfinished loop. That is not a broken mind. That is a specific mind, and it comes with these 6 traits. Trait 1. You have a vivid, high-fidelity emotional memory. Start with the obvious one, because it's the one you're the least grateful for. The same wiring that hands you a cringe memory in 4K is the wiring that lets you relive the good things just as vividly. The exact light in a room, the way someone's voice sounded when they meant it, the feeling of a moment you'd never want to lose. Most people experience their past in low resolution, blurry and summarized. You experience yours in detail. The replays are the tax you pay on a rich, cinematic memory. But the memory itself is a gift most people simply don't have. Your life doesn't fade as fast. That's not nothing. Trait 2. You have an unusually strong, observing self. To be embarrassed by a version of you from years ago, you have to be able to watch yourself, to step outside your own behavior and evaluate it against a standard. Psychologists call this self-monitoring, and most people do it far less than you'd think. You have a second self that stands slightly behind you, quietly taking notes. Yes, that self can be a harsh critic at 2 a.m., but it's also the reason you can catch yourself mid-sentence, adjust in real time, and grow. People without this trait repeat the same mistakes for decades without ever noticing. You noticed a mistake from years ago. That level of self-awareness is rare, and it's the raw material of every kind of growth there is. Trait 3. You feel other people deeply, high empathy and social attunement. You don't replay the memory because you're worried about you. Listen closely and you'll hear that most of your cringe moments are about how you might have made someone else feel, or how you appeared to them. That's empathy running in the background, a finely tuned radar for other people's inner states. You care how you land. You track the emotional temperature of a room. The flip side of "I overthink how I came across" is "I am deeply attuned to other human beings," and that attunement is the thing that makes people feel genuinely seen and safe around you. Think about it honestly. You can walk into a room and feel the tension before anyone says a word. You remember what people told you and how they seemed when they told you. You've probably been the person a friend comes to precisely because you get it without needing it spelled out. That's not an accident of personality. It's the same sensitivity that replays your own missteps, simply pointed outward. The cost is the replays. The gift is that you are one of the very few people who actually notices when someone else is quietly not okay and does something about it. Trait 4. You have a live conscience and a strong set of values. Notice which memories come back. It's rarely the times someone was cruel to you. It's the times you think you fell short of your own standard. The moment you were short with someone, the thing you said that wasn't kind, the version of yourself you didn't want to be. That discomfort has a name. It's your conscience. And it only aches like that in people who actually have one. A person with no internal moral compass never replays these moments because they never registered them as wrong. Your cringe is often just integrity with nowhere to go. It's proof you hold yourself to a code and that you'd rather be kind than comfortable. Trait 5. You have a mind that refuses to leave a loop unfinished. Remember the Zeigarnik effect. The reason these memories stay open is that part of you is still trying to solve them, to write the better ending, say the thing you should have said, become the person who handled it well. That drive can spiral into rumination if you let it. But at its root, it's the same engine that makes you finish what you start, refine your work past the point most people quit, and refuse to accept a sloppy version of anything you care about. You are wired for completion and improvement. There's a real line worth knowing here. Psychologists draw a hard distinction between reflection, turning something over to actually understand it and learn, and rumination, circling the same distress without ever moving toward a resolution. Reflection is the healthy face of your trait. Rumination is the same energy stuck in a loop with the exit painted over. The difference isn't whether you think about the past, it's whether the thinking is going somewhere. And once you can feel that difference in real time, you can catch the loop and point the engine at a question it can actually answer. Most of what looks like overthinking is that engine idling, running on an old memory because it hasn't been given something new to build. Trait 6. You have real emotional depth and a rich inner world. Put the first 5 together and you get the 6th. A mind that encodes deeply, watches itself, feels others, holds a conscience, and hungers to resolve things. That is not a shallow mind, and it never will be. Your inner world is loud because it's full. The people who never replay a single memory are also, very often, the people who never sit with a feeling long enough to understand it, never create anything from it, never go deep with another person. You paid for your depth with some sleepless nights. But depth is where insight, creativity, and real connection actually come from. You didn't get the easy version of a mind, you got the deep one. Here's the part almost no one tells you. The reason the replays don't have to keep their grip. For 100 years, we assumed a memory was fixed, recorded once, filed away, permanent. Then neuroscientists discovered something that changed everything. Every single time you retrieve a memory, it becomes briefly unstable, soft, editable, before your brain resaves it. It's called reconsolidation. Listen that again because it's the whole video. The memory you've been replaying is not the original event anymore. It's a copy of the last time you recalled it. And if every time you re-entered it, you did so drowning in shame, you have spent years resaving it with the shame baked deeper in. You weren't just remembering the moment, you were re-recording it, worse, on every pass, which means the door swings both ways. The next time one of these memories floats up, you get to change how it gets stored. You don't fight it, and you don't shove it back down. That just flags it as important again. Instead, you meet it with the truth. That was a younger version of me, doing his best with what he knew then. You add the spotlight effect on purpose. The only person who still remembers this is me. Everyone else closed the file years ago. You let the moment be finished, and your brain resaves it one notch softer than it was. That's the shift. The replay was never the enemy. It was an open loop asking to finally be closed, and now you know you're the only one who can close it, and the only one who is ever still watching. So the next time it's late, and the room is dark, and a memory from years ago arrives uninvited, I want you to hear it differently. It's not evidence that something is wrong with you. It's the sound of a mind that feels deeply, watches honestly, cares about people, holds itself to a standard, and refuses to leave anything unfinished. Those are not the traits of someone who's broken. They're the traits of someone who's awake, in a world full of people who aren't. You were never too sensitive. You were just paying attention when everyone else looked away, and the same depth that keeps you up at 2 a.m. is the depth that will let you understand yourself and other people more completely than most will in a lifetime. Let the old audience go. They were never really there. If this felt like it was describing you, not in general but specifically, then you already know what this channel is for. This is the mind beneath the silence, and we go here every week. Subscribe and stay with me. There's a lot more of you left to understand.